Well, first of all, it adds some level of panic, I think, to most Colts fans. But as far as the team goes, I think in some ways that lets them know that, he's not going to be back in the next 2 weeks. He's not going to be back in a month. So in some ways, now they concentrate on fully going full speed ahead with Kerry Collins, as difficult as that is for a team that has had Peyton Manning at the helm for 13 years in a row.
And when it comes to Peyton recovery, obviously I'm not a doctor, but they're saying minimum of 2 months, possibly this season. What does that mean going forward?
Yeah, I think what that means is that they're not going to give us a timetable, and I wouldn't expect that from the Colts. They like to be pretty close to the vest on those sort of things. But my guess is that given what I've been able to learn about this type of procedure, it's 2 to 3 months is the recovery time, and that puts you later in the season. I really would be surprised, I guess, if Manning would come back and play this season, given the fact that we're starting right now, and in 2 to 3 months down the road, the Colts are going to be where they're at that point. So I would be surprised, I guess, given that length of time, that he would get back this year.
Peyton's been pretty outwardly talking about how the lockout has affected his recovery and that he wasn't able to work with the people he normally works with. Is this part of that, or is this just one of those injuries that's so tricky to deal with when you're dealing with neck and nerves that it's hard to predict how not working with the people that he normally works with rehab-wise affected him this summer?
Yeah, I don't think that you can pin that on the lockout. I think this is a case where different people, their body reacts different ways. They heal different ways. And from what I can gather, there's nothing you could have done, in terms of rehabilitation to speed that along. It was just something that didn't heal the way it should or as fast as they expected it to, and I don't think the lockout had anything to do with that. I think it's just one of those things. This is how Manning's body has reacted.
As far as Kerry Collins goes, obviously this is a guy that's got a lot of experience in the NFL, but only a couple weeks with the Colts. Looking at what he can do, what's realistic for the Colts' expectations of Kerry Collins and then of this team for the rest of the season without Peyton?
Well, I think the good thing is that Collins is a veteran quarterback, and he's been through a lot of NFL seasons, so he's going to be savvy enough to be able to do things. I think it's going to be tough. Their schedule is just really brutal, and I think it really depends on how fast they start. How quickly can Collins generate some sort of rhythm in that offense so that they can move the ball, put some points up. We don't expect it to be like it is when Manning is at his best, because obviously he's one of the best quarterbacks that's ever played the game. Kerry Collins is a good quarterback. I wouldn't list him as one of the best ever to play the game, but he's a good, solid quarterback. So I think it's going to be a tough uphill climb for the Colts to maintain that playoff streak.